I just didn't apply anyway. I just looked at the top 5 schools in the UK and applied to it. So I was like, if I was going to go anywhere, I was going to go somewhere nice and see what happens. So, of course, obviously, it got rejected by Cambridge and all those things. But I got medical research at Imperial one. Yeah. So, 6 months in the laboratory was hard. Like, every day I was just playing with the pets and cell cultures and doing all of that. And I thought to myself now, okay, fine. I've seen the research part of it, and I don't think this is something that I would do a long time.
Love or money?
Wow.
Good.
I just joke that I've got 2 jobs. I'm got a job that ends, and I have a job that never ends.
Okay.
So the job that ends is a job that pays like for my lifestyle. That's what I have to leave the house for. But once I'm back home, I just start like my next shift.
But obviously, you're an authentic person. So if it's write a letter to your, say, 20-year-old self, what would it be like?
That's really interesting because I actually have it like written down somewhere.
Seriously?
Yeah.
A surgeon, a husband, and the father to the cutest, most adorable 1-year-old ever. Hey fam, this is Lifestyle by Omoti and you're welcome to this channel. So I know I always say that I'm ecstatic and elated, but today I am overly hyped about this guest. I'm just really intrigued that he's finally agreed
Come on.
to grace my humble seat today. And one of the reasons why I have invited this person is because he embodies excellence. And this is not to hide. I've known him for almost 13 years. This person has to come on here because we have a lot of things to learn from him. And I know I'm overhyping, but it's not overhyping. You tell me at the end whether I did overhype or not, but I'm sure I didn't. So, yes. Can you please welcome with me today a son, my former son, a surgeon, a husband, and the father to the cutest, most adorable 1-year-old ever. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Dr. AyK and I, MMM.
What that one episode means.
You tell us.
It's fine. Hi everyone. It's nice to be here. And she said my name already. Fortunately or unfortunately, many people call me Ayo now, but the full name is AyK. So kind of know who knows me depending on how they call my name. She said, yeah, I'm a dad, husband, I'm a surgical trainee, currently doing my urology training in the West Midlands. Things I like to do, prefer sitting in my house, at the gym sometimes, and watching movies, and watching football sometimes, basically. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Nice. So you can also see that surgeons are also humans, right? Or maybe they are superheroes.
No, we are not. We're just going to work like everyone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned something now about fitness.
Yeah.
Okay. One of my memories of AyK was me running in ABH. I don't think I've shared this with you before.
I'm listening, yeah.
And then you'll be in the TV room and be watching us and say, we should be deceiving yourself. Yeah, and then when I started checking his status at some point in adult life and I saw that AyK was running, I felt so pleased. And I think for me, I'm okay with people changing their minds about things because we all evolve, we all grow, and sometimes when we make fun of other people, it's not because we are actually making fun of them. It's just that you're just taking a piece at the moment.
Yeah,
and it doesn't mean that you don't have it in mind to do, but it was really nice to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you want to tell us how you found the fitness side of you?
Well, I wouldn't say fitness side of me because I think it's just more like a lifestyle change. And it started just around, I'm trying to remember the first time I ever ran. Like, I can remember, like, oh, I want to run, and I ran. I think it's sometimes in 2019. And that was when I started living here, and basically I was doing nothing apart from go to school, go back to my house, and I was just looking for things to add to my schedule. And I picked up running just like maybe only on the treadmill to start with, like 5 minutes run, and I would just go hard and just gas out. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. People run for like 1 hour and things like that. Then I slowly started going outside, ran like maybe only 500 meters, go back to my room. But slowly, it was nothing like, I didn't have any targets, I didn't have anything. And it just slowly got better. COVID came, so we're not going out, we're not going anywhere. But my flatmate at the time used to run a lot.
Okay.
So just go with him, go out to the field. And he would say, "Oh, he's going to run 5K with his mates," and I would try to keep up with them. Just impossible to keep up with them. But I just realized it didn't really matter as long as I was out with them, doing whatever laps I could do, go back to my house, and it got better. And that was it really. So 2019, 2020, picked it up again by myself. 2021, that's when I think I started running like much more frequently, and it was just like, oh, why am I running? I'm like, yeah, to bring down my heart rate. So that was my aim. So till now, that's my aim, just bring down my heart rate.
So what's your current heart rate?
It depends. I don't get my watch regularly anymore, but when I used to, I think the resting heart rate when I was really running every time was around 60.
Perfect.
Yeah, so not bad. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so for those wondering about heart rate and why you need to bring down heart rate, you need to please explain more.
Not sure I remember that part of medicine.
No, big girl.
Not sure I remember that part of medicine anymore. But basically, if you think of the heart like a muscle and it's like a machine that needs to beat, and if you think when you're doing something in smaller bits, so if you're doing it less powerfully or you're doing it less appropriately, you have to do it faster than usual, so you get tired more often. But if the machine is much more stronger, machine is bigger, has some mass to it, has some effort to it, it does the same type of work with less effort and less time as a weaker machine. So basically bringing down the heart rate. So rather than your heart pumping about 100 times in a minute, it goes down to about 60 times. So it's doing less work and more efficient. I think that's the easiest way to break it down without sounding like a doctor.
It makes sense. So yeah, helping your heart to work smarter.
Yeah.
In some way. Okay. That's nice. Yes. And that's what I was talking about when I was talking about excellence. So you had free time.
Yeah.
You could have used your free time for any other thing in the world and you picked up running. That is phenomenal. And I would like to personally separate you. Yes. So another reason, or one of the things that intrigued me a lot about you, you know, the funny thing is that many of these things we've never really shared. Yeah. Yes. Fair. But maybe sometimes I'll just say maybe a message or something. It was during NYSC when you got a scholarship. Was it a scholarship? Yeah. Or okay, now you just want details.
I might not, but
not details, but it was after NYSC, and you were coming to, you got a scholarship to do body masters. Yeah. Yes. And I was like, oh, that is such a go-getter. Like, some of us were still thinking of, oh, what am I going to do next? I think for me, I was just like, oh my God, NYSC is ending. What am I going to do with my life? And it seemed like you already had things in place, which was really good. And if anything, it was very inspirational and it was motivational for, I'm sure, not just myself and a lot of people. I remember when you came to tell us in that Calabar house that day. And I felt so intrigued. I was so happy and I felt motivated to, want more for myself as well. So what are those things? Like, how did you begin to dream so big, even from an early age? How did you find your path? And there's lots of questions, but I'm just curious.
Well, I wouldn't say there was like a big moment where there was like something to think about like that. Towards the end of medical school, right. I wasn't sure. Like, okay, I was sure I wasn't going to do like internal medicine or things like that. But I was also looking at doing some other things outside of like clinical practice. And one of the easiest things was trying to do a master's. And the question was, what kind of master's would I do? And I just thought about it. Okay, I've done this clinical part of medicine a lot now. I'd like to see more of the research stuff, like things that involve being in the lab, looking at technologies that I know nothing about. And that's what led to me trying to do a master's. And the other thing I thought about was, so I had an option of deciding if I was going to go to the UK or go to the US. And I wanted the master's done quickly. So I went somewhere that was going to be only 1 year of master's, which is why I chose the UK. Right. And when I was applying, I wouldn't say it was random, but I just didn't apply anyway. I just looked at the top 5 schools in the UK and applied to it. So I was like, if I was going to go anywhere, I was just going to go somewhere nice and see what happens. So, of course, obviously, got rejected at Cambridge and all those things, but I got biomedical research at Imperial. And said it's a scholarship, but it wasn't really a scholarship, but it was kind of, there was some arrangement that made it easier to like afford the fees for Imperial at the time.
Okay. Yeah. That's nice. So remember when I started and it sounded like an overhype. So on top of everything, this is an Imperial College graduate. Right. Anyway, I'm not going to overly gloat. Yeah, but that's really nice. And it's nice to see the thought process that went into it. And I think sometimes a lot of people think that to make a decision is something very grand and you have to overthink it. But you've just said that this was what you wanted and you're able to just filter through. Yeah, that's nice. And again, excellence shown through because you went for the top 5 schools. Okay. Yeah. You know, there was something I saw on social media about Nigerians when they are choosing schools in the UK. I think I've seen it before. That it's schools that you don't know their names that you may choose, but I mean that's just by the way, but it just shows that you wanted more for yourself and for your future. So that's nice. Okay. So because UK was offering 1 year, but that was for masters. Yeah. So what made you continue in the UK? Well, it was easy. So 6 months in the laboratory is hard. Like every day I was just playing with pipettes and cell cultures and doing all of that. And I thought to myself that, okay, fine. I've seen the research part of it and I don't think this is something that I will do long term. Okay. I could do with some clinical practice. I can do it alongside my clinical practice, but my previous thoughts of thinking I was going to leave clinical practice and do basic like research and academics, I don't think it was something I would like. So during my master's, I sat the PLAB exam, so PLAB 1 and PLAB 2, just at the end of my exam, and I got registered with the GMC, which is why I've been stuck here. Yeah. Are you sure you're stuck here or you chose to stay? I chose to stay. Exactly, because I know you can't be stuck. Yeah. Okay, so that's very interesting, and that's another thing that I've also come to learn in life. Many times you feel like, oh, I've made this decision, I must stick to it. Yeah. Oh, I've already said that I want to be a researcher. I've made this decision, I'm not enjoying it, but I must stay there. You can always change your mind. You can always explore. And sometimes, even when we don't explore things, it sounds like we'll never know if we like it or not. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So it sounds like you talked about a lot of serious things. So. Okay. Let's lighten it up a bit. No, I'm going to be doing some this or that. Did you watch Ibukun's video? Not complete. Okay. I started. Don't worry. So you're not ready. I'm not ready. Like, I should have, I should have done some research. I just watch people's videos. Anyway, we'll see. Yeah, it's fine. So this or that. Yeah. A day in theatre or soft toy with your daughter? Soft toy. Soft play rather, not soft play, play, whatever, as long as my daughter. Is it your daughter? Yeah. Okay, right. Are you ready for the next question? Yeah. Okay. I'll repeat some of the questions since you did not read past questions. Go ahead. Love or money? Wow. Money. Good. And then you will now work out the love. Money, yeah. Money. Why did you say money? That's what really comes to mind first. If I have to choose. Thank God I don't have to choose, but if I have to choose. But that says very well, though. Yeah. Thank God I do not have to choose. Because I can't get But if I had to choose, like it would have gone to my head. Yeah. Yeah, money is important. It's good, yeah. It's good. Yeah. Love is good, too, but money is good, yeah. Okay. So who throws the most tantrums? Patients, surgeons, or toddlers? Since you have all three. Wow, interesting. Or all three? All three. Well, I'll say suggest through tantrums more. Okay, tell us, please. I mean, toddlers really don't have of course, I'm speaking to you now, so you can correct me, but I think toddlers don't really have control over their tantrums. They manage their emotions well. Surgeons are meant to be able to manage emotions better. And the kind of tantrums surgeons throw is not like, you may not see it like right now straight away. So I think the tantrums that they throw is more of like they want things to be in a certain way. They want to be perfect and just they want things to be in a particular way, but there are so many issues. Or I also want things to be in a particular way, but there are so many issues. And you can trigger tantrums internally, which is very, very different to toddlers. You can just be angry in your mind. Yeah. When I introduced you, I introduced you as a surgeon, a husband, and a dad. Okay. Yes. And luckily, I was at your wedding. I think that was the most happy event that I attended in 2021 before before the deed happened.
Yeah.
Yes. Because anytime I scroll through my pictures, that's like the last happy event. I'm like, okay, so that's nice. Anyway, and for me, I would say that I also was intrigued by that, and it was another sign of excellence. Again, this is just my view, and it doesn't mean that anyone who did not marry before clocking 30 is not excellent. Just for me, I just felt like, oh, this is nice. This person has their life put together. This is for me viewing from the outside. Yeah. And obviously, like I've always rooted for you, and in fact, you know that your wife's name has your name behind her name for my phone. That's how I've always said it.
I mean, I think that's very common. Very good that. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I'm saying like, what was the motivation to just, obviously you were excelling academically, your career, and then your marriage to just.
Now that you're telling me it was early, I didn't really think about it as being early or quick. I think it would just be like that was like the next stage. I would not say there was like, oh, there are like stairs for things to happen, but it felt like it was the right time. And jokes about in my house, they thought it was quite late anyway. So
Really?
yeah, I wonder what the benchmark is at home, but
maybe 21.
I have no idea to be honest. But it just felt like the right time, basically. I didn't know. I didn't feel like it was early or anything. It just felt like the right time.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. I mean, it's not too early. It was good. It was nice to see. Most people would probably want to marry their maybe mid-30s or 30 and above, but you were before, and that was really nice. I have my cute girl, I I absolutely adore her.
Yeah.
Yes. How has it been balancing everything? Being a surgeon, and I know that's a lot. A dad, a present dad, because I see, I see and feel your presence.
Okay.
A present dad, a husband, a son, an in-law.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's hard to say there's a particular way in which you know how to balance things. I just joke that I've got two jobs. I've got a job that ends and I have a job that never ends.
Okay.
And so the job that ends is a job that pays like for my lifestyle normally. So that's the one I have to leave the house for. But once I'm back home, I just start like my next shift and the shift just continues again. So it can be hard. Sometimes you're just tired, like you're stressed out, you just want to sleep. Remember that there's someone that wants to be put to sleep, wants to be fed. Um, if you've got people at home already, they may have been taken care of like throughout the day anyway. So it's a bit like you just have to do it in a way. At some point, you accept that it's life. That's what life is now. So gone are the days where you come back and you have to just chill, put your leg up, play some game. It's all finding the balance, and I don't have like a template to say this is how you find the balance. Because if you ask me, how do you find the time to try to go to the gym, go to work early, come back, probably prep for the next day, prep your lunch, make your dinner, prep your breakfast. Like it's a whole lot, and you have to squeeze in 8 hours of sleep in there. I never sleep for 8 hours. Probably,
impossible.
Probably 4 to 5 hours.
Seriously?
Yeah, unfortunately, 4 to 5 hours. But still, I think you just get it and you get your break when you feel it. So I usually have this like kind of internal light system. I just feel like I'm buzzing, I'm a bit tired. So I either take like the whole weekend and make sure I do nothing. Yeah. Just look for some leave, like short breaks. Most people think you have to go somewhere for your leaves. No, I just stay in my house most times. Okay. Or run away from the house for like one day and come back.
That's a nice idea. Yeah. You're giving us ideas.
Yeah, it's good. Mini breaks are nice.
Yeah.
It helps you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So there's no template for balancing things.
For me, I don't have a template. Some people might have a template. I'm sure. Maybe you have a template.
You sound certain.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I think that one of the things that really helped me to pick up the templates, not like I have a template, is knowing what my priorities are per time. As a psychiatrist, may I advise that you sleep more?
Honestly, I try to sleep more.
Okay.
Because either I don't sleep early enough or I wake too early.
I wake too early. Okay. All right then. All right. So thank you so much for being an excellent guest today.
Okay.
I think one of the things that I forgot to mention in the intro, apart from being excellent, is how selfless AyK is. Yes. Don't cover your face. Take your flowers.
Okay.
Yes. And it's not just a one-off thing, it's a continuous thing. And I think that lately I just remembered how that when we first moved over, I believe I've spoken about this before, but I need to talk about it again. Erica just told me, where are the people? Okay, don't worry, I'm coming to help you. Carried our bags, kept them in his house, brought hot rice. I feel like that hot. Imagine a family of three with a toddler. We traveled several hours. I'll never do it again. But we traveled several hours. We were hungry because all the food that was sent on in the flight were all bad. And then we were welcomed with hot rice and stew and pomo and meat and fish and everything. It was so heartwarming. And I have a picture from then.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember the picture.
You remember the picture? Yeah. I think we're matching that.
Yes, we were.
Yes, it was so nice. And I also remember that when we first came again, that we didn't have a car. Iraqi would always drop us after church at home. He never mind. Like, he would be like, no, just come. And even when we were like, no, don't worry. Like, no, I'm going to drop you. So those just, I mean, those are just two examples. There are so many other examples. And I just wanted to put that out there. Like, he's not just someone that is far away, just minding his family. He also cares about other people. And I know he might want to comment on that, but should I spare you?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I have to say about. Thank you.
Okay. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just one of the things that I'm like, oh, like it's selfless. You know, when you think about people, you just think of 1, 2, 3, and I know that is selfless. Another reason I remember it's selfless in medical school.
Okay, this is way back.
Yes, although I was not part of the crew, but I know that he always had people that he was always teaching. They were always studying AyK stream. Because AyK stream, we see plenty of slippers for the entrance. Yeah, so that's another thing. He's not keen on being successful alone. He makes sure that he carries other people along, so that's just beautiful. And one last thing, I know I keep saying last thing,
That's fine.
is is that I think at the end of medical school, 600 level, AyK transformed to be a fashionista. I was like, okay. And he has maintained that from then to now. Please tell us your secret or some of the fashion tips as a surgeon.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'll open.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm happy to listen. Right on.
No, but really, it's just the intentionality, matching colors. Like today now, see, it's just that you cannot see your full look.
It's just one color.
It's one color, but it's all blended.
Okay,
it's very nice. I should have worn what I wore in church. What's
yeah, you see, I would have matched with you. So
yeah,
that was the idea.
I wore it in one of my videos. Let's not be like Chase doesn't have to.
I don't know what she's talking about. Ending of 600 level. I don't know. Maybe I was just happy finishing med school, or maybe things changed.
No, but that was a sudden turnaround.
It was good. I think we were able to use our card to shop outside the country in Nigeria. But yeah, it was a good turnaround. I didn't think I made any decision. I didn't think like, oh, this is what I wanted to do. But I saw things I liked. I saw things that I thought would be nice, and I bought them, and I started wearing them.
I started the fashion journey.
And I'm glad you thought that it was nice and it looked good. Even till now, it's just I try to be as simple as possible. Yeah. Anyway, that's the point. Simple and comfortable.
Simple, comfortable, and presentable.
Oh.
It's very important.
Simple, comfortable, presentable. Okay, yes. Because you can pick the two and the third one is not present.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of comfortable things are not fine. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you using that word, yes. And I mean it with the whole of my heart. Thank you. Yeah. And just before we wrap up, been...
That's quick.
Okay, that's what everybody keeps saying when they come here.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Yes, but I just wanted you to, again, I said you've been a motivation to me, and I'm sure to a lot of people as well. They might not tell you, but people watch you, they see your footprint, they see what you're doing, like, oh, this person makes sense, this person is doing well. So if you were to write a letter, now this is a very, let's say, normal question, say, oh, letter to my whatever self. No, but obviously you're an authentic person. So if it's write a letter to your, say, 20-year-old self, what would it be like? Not the full content, but what would be the punchlines there?
That's really interesting because I actually have it like written down somewhere.
Seriously?
Yes. So
Okay.
you know my very good friend Lasha. Just just at the end of medical school, he made us write letter to myself, a couple of people, and the letter was to myself, just starting medical school and just like talking to yourself. And I have something there. And last year, he made me write another letter just to reflect on what has changed from then to now. So I can tell you about, so I'll tell you two things or three things. Forget the number. I'll tell you a couple of things I told
No
myself.
worries.
Yeah. So the first was a letter to my younger self is basically stop being afraid. Whatever you need to do, you can do it afraid. Do it scared, but just make sure you do it. Like there'll be so many things that will scare you. You'll be scared of speaking. You'll be scared of speaking in public. You'll be scared of feeling like this. Sometimes see fear as excitement. I said that because I think I was scared, like almost through half of medical school, scared of doing lots of things. But I later realized there was no point being scared, and no one knows you're scared until you tell them you're scared.
True.
So do it afraid, like believe in yourself. All of those believe in yourself stuff, but this time around, just forget I said believe in yourself and just say do it afraid. And the next one is that as a human being, there's one thing that is always constant. You always have to change. You always have to accept that change has to happen. And change comes in one, accepting that there's something you can do and there are things you can't do. Accepting that your priorities will change from time to time. Where you are in life will determine many things that you do. And accepting sometimes when things don't go wrong, that it's not the end of the world. You can just pick yourself up. There's actually nowhere you might need help from people to pick yourself up, but you can always pick yourself up and you can always try again. So I think those are the words I tell myself. And it's without going into too much details, it has helped me every time when I've had issues with exams and things like that. It's not the end of the world. You just need to just pick yourself up and that's it. Yeah.
That is profound. And I'm personally going to watch, obviously I watch the videos over and over again, but it's just I didn't want to stand up and start drifting.
Come on.
Honestly, no. I feel like that it's liberating. And I really, because a lot of people watch videos just first 3 minutes, but this is the end. But I think that is something I'm going to highlight and a lot of people really need to hear this. Like, just do it afraid. Whether you are prepared or not, just do it first. But preparation is key, but still do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I still have one more thing, although I said we're wrapping up, but it was something I was watching or listening to on a podcast about men having, would I say, friends that they are vulnerable to or they can share or do life with. And you just mentioned Lasha.
Yeah.
I know Lasha she's not in the UK.
She's in the US.
She's in the US. And it sounds like you've had a very good journey. And yes, I must say that Lasha was our best graduating student, but AyK was second best graduating student. So you see, power friends. Yeah, so he did something when you were finishing medical school. That was 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And then last year again, he followed up on that.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's not just a one-off kind of thing. Like it's been a consistent building together.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That is so good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great motivation anyway. I don't know how he does the things he does, and I picked up a quote from him just a few weeks ago, and I put it on my Twitter, which is very funny. So Lasha told me, simple word, quote enough quote. My problem is that I have ambition. And that is a very significant problem.
It is a big problem because why are we stressing ourselves? Okay. Hopefully one day I can invite Lasha to this.
I'm sure it's going to
channel. Yes.
Just flying all over, flying from the US. So.
Yeah, or I can even see him in the US.
Yeah, simple. Yeah, exactly. When you go for that conference.
Yes, I guess. Yeah, so thank you again. It was, I told you that you really need to prepare for this.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And for me, this is the whole feel. It was fun. It was wholesome. I've learned a lot. I feel alive again. I feel like I'm ready to take on the world.
Okay.
So watch out.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Is there anything you wanted to say again?
No, exactly. I'm glad, like, I was able to come. It was just a joke, really. I was just joking about it. Now, when are we going to upload this YouTube channel? And I'm glad I'm
Seriously.
Probably I'm going to now watch all of our videos now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're open to feedback. We're growing and we're very open to feedback. Thank you.
No problem.